Hey guys, it's Jay, and you know what time it is. On 15 Pieces of Flair, I'm going to show you guys some ways to spruce up that game room. Spencer Palmer, a follower of mine, asked me to make some Neuroshima Hex flair. Now in Neuroshima Hex, there's all kinds of different factions. And each faction has its own set of hexagonal tiles, and on the back of each one of each faction's tiles, they have that faction's emblem. Now today, I made Spencer some flair for his favorite faction, and that's Mississippi. So let's check it out. Alright, so for this project, we're going to need an 1/8 inch piece of plywood, 1 foot by about 14 inches long, a hex stencil to fit the wood cut from cardstock, a permanent marker, a jigsaw with wood blade, an electric hand sander, various shades of earth green, brown, white, and light gray spray paint, a thin piece of cardboard, an X-Acto knife, a fish stencil, and masking tape and paper. Using your permanent marker, go ahead and trace around the hex stencil onto the wood. Put on your safety glasses and then cut along the line with the jigsaw. Then smooth all the edges and corners with an electric sander. I tried to round out all the edges and corners to replicate how a real game piece would look the best I could. Wipe down the wood with a paper towel, then apply a coat of dark brown spray paint focusing on the outside edges. Then after that dried, I used the hex to trace the size of it onto the cardboard. Then I drew a circle inside that outline with a marker. Then I roughly tore out that circle. And it doesn't need to be perfect, and in fact, it looks better the more haphazard looking it is. And go ahead and save the inner circle for use later. Now these next few coats don't have to dry completely, you can do them while they're still wet. Now I used that outside circle stencil and sprayed a dark earth green. I didn't press the stencil directly onto the hex, I held it off about 1 inch or so to allow some overspray. I tried to move the stencil around as I was spraying to give a more random look. Then I ripped a strip out of that inner circle and taped that ring onto the other circular stencil. Then using that stencil, I sprayed a lighter shade of green onto the hex. Then I also did a coat in light brown. Then to give some contrast, I added some spurts of light gray and white. And to subdue the white and gray a little bit, I lightly sprayed some dark green and light brown over the entire thing. Then using scissors, I cut a long, skinny triangle from a different piece of cardboard. Using that stencil, I very lightly sprayed the white rays onto the hex. And then to subdue the rays, I lightly sprayed over them in dark green. Once that was totally dry, I went ahead and attached the fish stencil and some paper with masking tape. I then sprayed a semi-light coat of white over that stencil. Now you can wait till it's totally dry to remove the stencil, or go ahead and remove it now while it's still wet. And because I'm impatient, I did it now. Boom! There you have it. A quick and easy way to add some flair to your game room. Now Neuroshima Hex, like I said, has tons of different factions. You could go through and make one of these for each faction, or just hang up your favorite 1 or favorite 3 or whatever. But I love this. Thanks for the idea, Spencer. And if you guys have any suggestions on games or idea like Spencer did, you can leave them in the comments below or get a hold of me anywhere on social media. Don't forget guys, 15 Pieces of Flair is the bare minimum. Some people choose to do more, and we encourage that. Have fun everybody.